All right, we hear it all the time, right? AI is changing everything. But today, we're diving into a really big one: its role in actual, honest to goodness scientific research. I mean, how close are we, really, to an AI that can be a true research partner? Let's find out.
So here's the big question on everyone's mind. Are AIs about to become better researchers than humans? With these incredibly powerful systems like OpenAI's Deep Research and Gemini, it really feels like we're on the edge of some kind of revolution. But are they actually ready to do the complex, messy, creative work of a real expert?
To get what's going on, you have to understand the problem. And I love this analogy. Testing most AIs today is like giving a Formula One driver a vision test. I mean, sure, you want your driver to have 20/20 vision, that's absolutely essential, but it tells you exactly nothing about whether they can handle a hairpin turn at 200 miles per hour. We've been testing for the wrong skills.
The old tests, the existing benchmarks, they just don't cut it. They're all about short, factual answers, not deep thinking or synthesis. And because science moves so fast, they become stale almost the second they're published. Plus, and this is a huge one, there's the risk of data contamination. That's where the AI has already seen the answers in its training data, so it's not reasoning, it's just remembering. They just completely miss what real research is all about.
So if the old tests are totally broken, how do we build a better one? Well, this is where it gets interesting. A team of researchers decided to build a whole new arena, a brand new proving ground, and they call it DeepScholar-Bench. Now, DeepScholar-Bench isn't just another boring test. It's a dynamic, living system. The best way to think of it is like the Olympic Games for research AIs. It's constantly being updated, constantly challenging them with real, tough research tasks. The whole point is to see if they can actually synthesize knowledge, not just spit back facts they've memorized. So how do they keep these AI Olympics fair and, more importantly, always current? Well, the secret sauce is in this pipeline you're seeing. It's a fully automated process designed to turn brand new science, hot off the press, into a fair and challenging test. Let's dig into how that actually works.
Okay, let's break that pipeline down. First, the system automatically goes out and scrapes new papers from archive. That's the place where all the cutting-edge research shows up first. Step 2, it filters them to make sure it's only looking at high-quality stuff. Step 3, it sets the task for the AI. And this is clever. The AI is only given the title and the abstract of a brand new paper, and its job is to write the related work section for it. This is such a critical skill. It's all about understanding where a new idea fits into the history of science. And then finally, it evaluates how well the AI did. Any good competition needs a good rulebook, right? You can't have the Olympics without judges. So now that we have the test, how exactly do you score an AI on something so complex? You need a really clear set of rules. The whole evaluation framework boils down to 3 absolutely crucial dimensions. To get a gold medal, an AI-generated report has to nail every single one of these. Let's walk through them. Okay, first up, knowledge synthesis. This is not just about listing facts, it's about telling a coherent story. Is the AI's report well organized? Does it actually make sense and flow logically? And really importantly, did it include all the essential pieces of information, what the researchers call nuggets, that any human expert would know to include? Next, we have retrieval quality. Look, a researcher is only as good as their sources. So did the AI just pull up some random papers that mention a keyword? Or did it identify the truly important landmark studies in that specific field? Because the quality of that foundation determines everything that's built on top of it. And finally, we have what might be the most important dimension of them all: verifiability. This is all about trust. If the AI makes a claim, can you trace it back to a specific sentence in a source that actually factually supports it? Because without this, a research report isn't research at all. It's just science fiction. Now, to compete in their own Olympics, the paper's authors also built their own system, their own in-house champion called DeepScholar-Bench. And it uses this really methodical, multi-step strategy. It doesn't just do one big, messy search. Instead, it iteratively searches, then filters, then ranks information before putting it all together. It's really designed to mimic how a human researcher carefully sifts through all the noise to find that one critical signal. So, the stage is set, the competitors are ready, the rules are crystal clear. How did today's most advanced AIs actually do in this new arena? Well, the results are a little shocking. Let's just look at the scoreboard, because the data tells a fascinating story. The human expert, that's our gold standard, sets a perfect score of 1.0. Now look at the AIs. OpenAI's system is pretty good at finding those factual nuggets,
But look at its verifiability score. It's shockingly low. The search AI, using Claude, is the opposite. It's great at being verifiable, but weaker everywhere else. And even the custom-built Deep Scholar base, which does pretty well overall, is still miles and miles away from the human benchmark. So what does this all mean? Well, when you average the performance across all of these critical areas, the highest overall score any system managed to get was just 19%. Let that sink in. 19. This is a massive, massive reality check for all the hype we've been hearing about AI researchers. Okay, that 19% is a lot to process. So while you let that number sink in, just a quick service announcement. If you've stuck with us this far, you've basically earned a PhD in watching YouTube videos to the end. You can enroll officially by hitting this subscribe button for VibeDoc. It's free and it hurts way less than a real dissertation, I promise. All right, let's get back to it. So after that pretty brutal reality check, what are the big takeaways? What are the main things we learn from this absolutely groundbreaking paper? It really boils down to three main things. First, we now have DeepScholar-Bench, a proper living, breathing test for AI researchers. That's a huge step forward. Second, we have DeepScholar-Base, a really strong open source method that sets a new high bar. But maybe the most important contribution is the reality check itself, a clear, data-driven demonstration that even the absolute best AI systems we have today are a long, long way from being ready to work as independent researchers. And that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? This paper just drew a very clear line in the sand, showing us the gap between the hype and reality is still incredibly wide. So the question isn't if AI will become our research partner, but with tough, honest benchmarks like this one guiding the way, how long will it actually take to get there? Thanks for tuning in.